Good afternoon, everybody. Game time, Brian, otherwise known as the mailman. Getting some content up. Just got done watching the Mike McCarthy press conference. Not too much, but I wanted to share it with you if anybody hadn't seen it. Give you some of my takes. Man, I uploaded a video a little while ago, and I literally, for maybe 30 seconds tops out of the whole half-hour video, I may have said some not great things about the Eagles. I didn't hammer the Eagles, and I'm getting lit up in the comments. It's a day for Larry Allen, okay? It's a day for Larry Allen. That's what it was. That was my Larry Allen. I threw in a little bit of Micah. I just literally got done watching I literally just got done watching Mark Holmes' video. I didn't know he was doing. Now, he did the tail end of the Micah where Mark did the juicy part of the Micah Parsons stuff. I did the earlier stuff where he was talking about CD Lamb. I don't expect Micah to get done. He's got this year, and they already exercised the fifth-year option on Micah's deal for next year. There is no urgency. But Micah did say he said some great things, but I did not watch Mark Holmes' video. Again, we're all doing the same thing. We all bring a different spin to it, and I hope you like my spin. And based by the numbers and the time that I've been on YouTube, which is less than a year. Daryl, thank you for the comment, bro, but I'm over 23K in a short period of time because people like my point of view. Doesn't mean we got to agree, bro. Just like Twiz. Twiz is very respectful. Listen, when the games start flying, I'm going to be saying shit that's me as a fan, not me sitting back trying to analyze. I'm not trying to be politically correct. I'm going to tell you my opinion. You're going to tell me yours. We'll disagree, have a lively conversation, then move on. I mean, again, this isn't ESPN. This is YouTube. Now, I did get copyrighted. It's BS. But again, I'm not in it to make money on a Larry Allen video. I'm meant to show my respect. It was a job well done by the YouTuber who did that video. Yeah, I have a 9-to-5 job. I work 45 hours a week. I got a family. I got a lot of stuff going on here. You know, YouTube is a part-time gig for me. But it's, in order to do it successful, it's more than part-time, you know. As you could tell, I don't have a makeup artist. Like some people on YouTube, they have a makeup artist. They have a lighting guy. You don't know my lighting guy? There he is. There you go. Ready? Whee! There it is. Are we ready? There it is. That lighting guy. That's me, baby. Fucking lighting guy. You ready? Here's another one. Ready? Boom. That's me. I don't have a makeup guy. I don't have a lighting guy. And I sure as hell don't have a guy in my ear feeding me stats and, editing me in my ear as I screw something up like a lot of these cats do on YouTube. Listen, you're going to get what you get, how you get it. I hope you like it. But anyway, don't forget, 8 o'clock tonight. 8 o'clock, Jay Smooth. Just to let you know, I got this hat here, brother. This is navy with the silver embroidered. It's embroidered, bro. It's not a heat-on high-end hat. The Dallas Star. I got more hats coming in a couple days. Same hat, but in a royal blue. That's going to be fire. For my Eagles subscribers, what Cowboy content creator is going to make a Kelly green hat with a black? There you go. Dude, that hat's fire. I spent $400 on these freaking hats. For who? For my Eagles subscribers. You're welcome. Again, we got the navy, Jay Smooth, so you can pick one. I got my original silver, Game Time Brian. That's fire. And then I have my original black, Game Time Brian. All good stuff. I do have the royal coming in. I have a few of them coming. I think I have like 12 of them coming in. If anybody wants a hat or a shirt behind me, I got this shirt right here. Jay Smooth, this is the shirt I have. Game Time Brian. And it's got Mark Holmes' wife made it for me. I have a few different sizes if you want that. The hats are the higher priced item. Just saying. But yes, just getting started here. If anybody wants one, email me at gametimebrian@gmail.com. All right. Okay. I'm working on a website, but we'll see how that goes. But all right, everybody, let's listen in on Mr. Mike McCarthy.
Thought it looked good next to purple. You can always count on it.
All right. What's the orange for today? I'm curious.
Just orange.
Okay.
What was there in the closet? Just grabbed it.
All righty.
He didn't iron Jesus.
I didn't put a lot of thought in it. Thought it looked good next to purple. You can always count on it. Clarence ran purple.
Clash.
right.
David Moore, Dallas Morning News. No attendance question at the moment, but when your season ended in such an uncharacteristic way for how you'd played up to that point and even building up to that, is that, I know you do your messages going into the next season, but is that any sort of motivational aspect to what you've been doing this off season, or is that something you reserve? Is off season just fundamentals and break it down and we'll go from there?
Yeah, definitely. I think the reality of it is, spoke on the last game a little bit at the beginning of the off-season program, but those lessons are, are best served to revisit in training camp and as you get ready for the season. Our time is so limited on how much we get with the players. We really focus on. You're probably tired of hearing about it, but we do really focus on getting the veterans through all the concept teach year, phase 1 and 2, so they're exposed to everything conceptually, and then really get it connected with the rookies. And just no different. Like today's the last practice. Is install 8, 7 and 8 are really, they're like a game plan. So there's not a whole lot of flow to it because we're doing red zone, goal line, and all those things. And
this is the last practice.
I thought that, historically 7
until
for the rookie
camp.
class was always pretty tough. And I thought they did a hell of a job
Johnson,
yesterday.
Sorry, I talked over
I
the
told him this
video.
morning. I said we're going to throw one more fastball at you and see what you got. So
text now, bro.
that's really what this is about. So
Thank
for
you.
us to come off the field today, to have that, volume of offense, defense, and special teams in and have them connected, that's the goal, and I feel confident we'll achieve that at the end of the day.
So the motivational or shared goal, that's really from training camp going forward. This is more just break it all, get down, do what you need to do.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's all timing of when you want to hit those things. We have a segment in every team meeting starting the training camp. It's the anatomy of the 2-minute, the anatomy of the 4-minute, anatomy of the end of game, complementary football formula.
Say whatever you want.
Is a big part
He's
of
an
who we are.
organized
Great example of who
coach.
you are through 17 games.
He has a Super Bowl title.
And then
just got to get it done in Big D. Will it happen?
Perform the way we did in a playoff
Who
game.
knows?
So yes, I think the statement of uncharacteristic is right on point because we statistically mathematics would clearly indicate that we're top 3 or 4 complementary football team in the league last year from a production standpoint. And that's at the end of the day, I think every coach you want your team to play to their identity and play to their strengths and do put your best foot forward and
Got to go with the
playoff
minis.
football. And we definitely did not accomplish that last year.
Clarence Hill for All-Star Telegram. A couple of things. First, why use just 2 days of practice? Why not use a third day? What's the premise behind that?
Well, the efficiency of the training regimen conducted by this coaching staff is exemplary, Clarence, okay? No, I think it's, well, we have other things we're focused on. We got other things that we're focused on, outside of scheme. So that's where the other time is going.
And secondly, Zach remarked yesterday that he didn't, after his holdout, he didn't play his best football last year. Do you see that, and is that normally what happens when guys hold out? They don't really have their best year. How do you?
I don't know if it's normal. I mean, that's probably a great study for Gelkin to do. I think it's something. But no, I think that it's like anything. When I look at Zach's situation, I think it's really the combination of the line playing together.
Wouldn't you love him just to? There you go. There you go. Is that better? Pause it, then talk. I'm trying to keep the video at a certain time limit, but I'll pause it for you. I got love for you. Wouldn't you like to hear Mike McCarthy just says, well, it's hard to do my job when I'm on a one-year deal. My defensive coordinator's on a one-year deal. My quarterback's on the final year of his deal. My wide receiver's going to hold out unless he gets a new deal. My star linebacker / defensive end is already talking about a contract 2 years out because he's arguably the top 3 defensive player in the NFL. You know, it just goes on. It just goes on and on and on. It's like, how do you expect me to be successful? Even though he's been successful, this year is going to be interesting. Now, looking at their schedule, stay tuned for that. We'll be, getting to that in the coming weeks. I'm still debating on whether to do a way too early schedule prediction, but I probably won't do that. What I might do is bring on I don't know if he would play ball. I don't know if Cop Pizzle would play ball and give me a schedule prediction for his Giants and get a commander, YouTuber, and get his official. I'll do it before the season. How's that? I'll bring on maybe Philly 500 to get his official schedule prediction for him, not me, because I know he's going to show over Dallas, so it doesn't matter what he thinks. But his opinion about the Cowboys means nothing to me. And I love you, Philly, but you're too much of a fan to be, realistic. And that's not a slight against you. You know your shit too. That's the upsetting part. But that might be fun. Anyway, let's hear more of Big Mike.
Together, we didn't have a lot of snaps with those guys playing together, and you can't make the point that the padded work. Whether it's how many is it 10, 11 padded practices. You miss that as an offensive lineman. That's really the only chance you have to train. From the end of the past season. So yeah, I think there's some things there you can tie together.
Mike Toddarch with ESPN. Were the O2X guys in yesterday to talk to you guys?
Yeah, they're here. They're here for the whole mini camp. So that's part of the time that we're spending. That's part of the reason why we're practicing twice.
What do you get out of bringing those guys in to talk to the guys? What's the message that they're sharing?
Well, not to get ahead of ourselves here, because we're gonna be with them again today and tomorrow. But been super impressed with this organization. It's an organization of human performance. Just their shared experiences alone, of the staff that they brought in here is just it's incredible. But most importantly, to see our players and coaches connect with them. So it's been very educational, and I think it's definitely something that we'll look to apply to our operation. And I think, like anything, when you are exposed and have the opportunity to be educated and have this type of experience, the maintenance and how you move forward is key. So they've been very
All right, I got to talk to you about this real quick before we finish up with the Mike McCarthy very exciting press conferences. No, I'm not trying to be rude, but they'll Zach Martin teases retirement. Cowboys offensive line calls walking away after the season in the realm of the possibilities. Dallas Morning News via Bleacher Report. So my guess is Zach Martin is going to retire if they should win a Super Bowl. Zach Martin is going to retire is if they crap the bed. The only way I would say that Zach doesn't retire would be if they get the guys they need to get signed, the coaching staff's back, there's some stability going forward. He ain't going to sit through a new coaching regime. He ain't going to do it. He's got a newborn. He's got young kids now. Zach's paid his dues. He's watched this organization squander talented teams by not doing the moves that they need to do to get them over the top. So a little bit of breaking news while we're listening to Big Mike.
Very impressive.
And then, have you entered a season with maybe as much uncertainty as there seems going forward?
Which way?
You don't have a
some changes in the
contract,
offensive
bro.
line, the running game, obviously the coaches and Dak and all these guys, contract statuses and things that. Does that
Yeah,
ever paint?
I think you can throw the contract part. I think to the side. I those conversations, and it wasn't easy. I mean, no one wants to be on a one-year contract. We all understand that, and the emotion of what that does to your family and so forth. But once we got past the combine, I think once you get things set, there's a job to do. So there hasn't been any blink, and no different than, using Dak as an example. I think Dak's having his best offseason program that we've had, and he hasn't.
Dak is a really, really good regular season quarterback.
So I think this.
He's great in the
this atmosphere that
offseason.
we
He's a
practice
great
in,
leader.
The receivers.
He's just not
and the
great at winning
quarterback
playoff games.
Have really
He
hit
can't
the
do it
mark.
by himself.
I'm very
Sorry, I
impressed
talked
with the
over
quality of work.
Mike.
Because, really the other most of the other positions really can't go full speed in most of the things that they do. But I think the offensive perimeter group and the quarterbacks have really excelled through this offseason program. I think we definitely have taken a step.
John Machota with The Athletic.
Real quick. One thing Mike has said, and I didn't show you that part of the interview. I don't, I'd like to do my thing. Hope this is better. I'm pausing Mike again. It's extending the video, but I'm pausing him. He said, and he hasn't been on the field much with him, but Mike has said, people are going to be surprised how good that team is. I'm assuming he meant his defense. They're loaded, people. Dallas is loaded. The problem is nobody's under contract beyond this year. They lost a couple pieces, rotational pieces. Yes, I would agree. But in the grand scheme, I'm hoping that everybody keeps talking their smack that we're not going to do this, we're not going to do that. Because this team is loaded, people. And Micah has got a smile on his face when he talks about it. But don't say nothing to nobody. Don't. Just keep it low.
Is there anything noticeable to you when you have Micah Parsons in the building and out on the practice field yesterday? Did anything stand out about having him out there?
Well, I think number one, did you watch practice? Yeah, he looked good. I thought he looked pretty good out there. So, yeah, he's a different player. He's a different athlete.
Difference maker.
So, just watching him some in the walkthrough before I came in here. So just the ability to move him around. He's a weapon. So yeah, definitely it's different when he's here.
And then 2 years ago, you guys used 4th-round pick on Jake Ferguson.
Mm-hmm.
He obviously.
The biggest thing is really getting the scheme and the fundamentals. I think just like anything every year, you have to teach your team how to practice. And CBA practice is a different practice. So I think they're getting everything at the rate of speed and timing that fits this training regiment. And but they're understanding. I've been very impressed with the young guys. They've picked it up very well. We're way ahead of the game as far as what we do. Offense on offense, protection-wise, we're clearly way ahead of where we were this time last year. And then what a great experience for our guys to now practice against Mike Zimmer pressure defense. So they've been getting all the tough overload pressure looks and things like that. So I think those guys have done a really nice job.
It's overload.
Garrett?
Garrett Podell, CBS Sports. Micah Parsons said yesterday that you and him had met for about an hour, and that after Dan Quinn's departure, you're kind of his personal go-to on the coaching staff. What's that been like?
Wow.
What's that been like this offseason? Like feeling that kind of just interpersonal relationship void, I guess, for him with Dan gone. He said that your relationship's really grown this offseason.
Well, you're a young man in this profession. I think it's like anything. The more you can do, the maybe the longer they'll keep you around. So, I think it's just another hat to wear. But no, Trying to, it's a bad joke, but yeah, I just think,
So he wants to
you know,
stay.
as anything. I mean, I enjoy those conversations with all of our guys. So I do, you know, put a lot of substance into the one-on-one conversations because I think you go deeper and talk about things. And you know, and coaching today's athlete, it's, you know, this is my third decade coaching in this league, and it's definitely different than the 90s. So the ability to communicate and collaborate, I mean, those are all very important practices that you have to have not only with your players but your coaching staff. So yeah, no, Mike is a big personality. You know, he brings a lot to the table. So I definitely enjoy a relationship.
Michael Gelkin, Dallas Morning News. You said earlier that Dak is having the best offseason he's had. How so?
I just think it's like anything with a quarterback when the
Better.
connection in the perimeter realm, because that's, you know, we're really has been the majority of our, you know, our physical activity. You know, the connections is better. You know, I think the younger receivers are you know, playing with more urgency. They're getting more reps. You know, the timings is better. You know, but the real test will be when we get to training camp. You know when we're challenged every snap on our releases, when we're challenged at the breaking points, and but we definitely hit the target, you know, in the passing game as far as the quarterback and the offensive perimeter.
And last August, not to bring this up, but you lost 3 rookies to ACL in a 5-day span. That group
ACLs
seems
were
to
bad
really
last
just
year.
gel together, those 3 guys. And how have you seen just that interpersonal dynamic of them going through the experience together elevate their rehab?
I'll tell you what, I don't recall ever having a personnel meeting where we talked so glowingly about guys coming back from rehab, because it's been impressive to watch those 3 young men. I mean, they've been in there every day together. They're in the irony of, you know, 3 left knee ACLs, and so the rehab is, you know, pretty much
it's crazy
the same.
last year.
But I think it's helped each and every one of them, because, you know, they push each other and they look great. I mean, we're obviously adhering to the timeline.
So we're talking to Overshown, John Stevens Jr., which nobody outside of DFW knows about, or me. So keep John Stevens Jr. low, people. Don't let the Eagle fans or anybody else know about how dynamic of a tight end he is. And, well, we have David. There was a bunch of ACLs, but the 2 main ones was Overshown, Diggs, or 3 main ones, and John Stevens. There was a couple other ones too, but they were lesser likes.
Of you know, return to play, and you know, I think Britt Brown does an incredible job with that. So, but yeah, I mean, you could, you know, you could really write a book on, you know, the way they went through it. I mean, so, you know, whatever ahead of schedule exactly means in detail, those 3 guys definitely accomplished that all the way through. So they look great. So we're all excited to.
ACLs are like routine anymore. The actual surgery of an ACL is nothing. What's more involved is the rehab. That's the hard part of an ACL. You know, just like with Achilles. Achilles is an extensive surgery, but it's like second nature to these doctors. They're incredible. It's the rehab. Learning how to walk and trust. That's the problem.
Not only what they showed, you know, last year in training camp, but also excited to see what they've done, you know, since then, because you know, I think all 3 of those guys got a chance.
It's not just the athletic. Mike, you've talked before about Jalen Tolbert's preparation, his note-taking, things like that. In that department specifically, how did you kind of see him when he came in, and where he is now, and how he prepares in that?
Definitely. I mean, that's a starting point. I mean, you know, we talk about education, application, and evaluation. I mean, the education process is, you know, how do you attain information? You know, and we're all different. Some people, you know, they thrive in walkthrough. Some guys are visually with a pen and paper. You know, I'm still old school with the yellow tablet. You know, we do a lot of video, but you know, he arrived here with very, very good, you know, very good skill set there. You know, note taking and so forth. But you know, as we all know, it's the application of it. You know, so now how do you apply it to the field? And I think he's taking a step each year, you know, with that. And very coachable young man, and I think that's part of the evaluation process that he excels in. And you know, and I think all that tied together is the final step is the confidence, and that comes with with reps and success and failures too, because you can learn from it. So, yeah, it's been really cool to watch JT continue to grow.
Since Kellen left last year, we've kind of all.
Since what?
Since Kellen left last year, we've kind of all said that this is kind of your offense. And
Eagles'
with
new
that
hero,
being said,
Kellen Moore.
What role has Brian Schottenheimer played? How has he helped you in implementing, the system and everything like that?
It's interesting. We've been talking a lot about meetings and how it used to be and this and that, and obviously Brian and I go way back. But I think the most important point and the reality of it, it is our offense. So obviously the play caller has.
Brian Schottenheimer, son of Marty Schottenheimer. Rest in peace, Marty. Love Marty Schottenheimer.
Gleam, man. There's a gleam. Let's get the gleam, all right? Let's go.
Control.
Let's get the gleam.
What's ultimately in, because it's common sense. If it's not that way, you're not truly going to believe in it, and it's probably not going to make it to the call sheet. So, but I think Brian Schottenheimer is an incredible football coach. His connection with our players is extremely strong. But I think both of we've done a really good job of really giving the other coaches opportunities to grow. If you go to an offensive meeting and where like the old days, the coordinator put in everything. I mean, he talked. I could remember. As an assistant coach, the coordinator would talk, and the only really meeting time that I would get as a quarterback coach would be before the team meeting. So you were going 100 mile an hour, trying to get done what you got done because the coordinators used most of the time, and then in Kansas City, once you get to the practice field, the players would be stretching. Well, Marty had a role you weren't allowed to talk to the players during stretch, and we were all over to try to sneak next to our players and try to coach them. Without Marty seeing you talking to your guy, and I could always remember Tim Grunhard, just a character of a guy, a great player there as a center, and he'd be like, "Hey Marty, I'm trying to stretch," and when you see everybody running because Marty get in, he'd rip your ass in a heartbeat. So, but how it's changed, and I think there's so many positive things that come out of that because you get to see your young coaches develop. They get to stand in front of the whole offense and. So, and I think with that, just, our experience together of how it used to be and how can we make it better, I think he's done a great job in the coordinator role.
Nicole.
Nicole, at Dallas Cowboys Media. This will be year 3 for Wanye Thomas. How big of a jump do you feel like he can make this year?
Primetime Phil's guy, Wanye Thomas. Big year, big year.
And what have you seen from him?
I thought he made a big jump last year. I think, just
Mark Holmes, this is the guy, that's the name you should have brought up when Dan said, who's your safety? You should have said, the guys that are actually on the team. They caught you off guard. I got your back, Mark.
Just like any, I mean, he's been dynamic on special teams, and then I think just like
J-Ron Kurtz
really
no longer with the
particularly
team.
This time of year is you get to see the young players in a different light, and Wanye just has so much personality. He just has such a bright light, and then when he was given an opportunity at safety, I mean he stepped up. So Wanye is clearly a great example of a young player that's really excelled with every opportunity he's been given. So. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it'd be awesome to see him take another step. But, God, just what an awesome, man. He always has a smile on his face, always has great energy, and and he plays that way, and people attract him that way too. So he has a great light.
Tom.
Mike, on the ACL guys, Diggs is one of those guys who's a little bit after those three. Where is he in his recovery, and does he have a possibility to be ready for the open part of camp?
We'll respect the timeline, but Trayvon looks great. He's, once again, he goes a little later in the day than the other three, but
listen, all of these guys should start training camp out on PUP. They just should. There's no reason for them to hit day 1 of training camp running. They're running full speed on the side with Brett Brown, but they don't need to be involved in the action anytime soon. John Stevens, okay, I get it, overshown, but Diggs doesn't need it. They'll all be on the side. They'll all be on PUP, most likely to start camp. That's more of a formality and a protection to get those reps off to the side before you're flying around bodies. That's just normal protocol, people. That's what I would want them to do anyway.
You know, Al and, you know, and Britt, you know, just, you know, he's in a good spot. You know, I just, you know, talked to him a little bit there Monday during the physicals. But yeah, so as far as when he comes back, and I mean, let's be honest, we're going to be very cautious with those guys. We're not going to put them out there too soon. You know, better later than too fast.
And then you mentioned earlier how it's different coaching players in the 90s to today. What's the biggest difference?
How much time we got here, Ted? Coach, I don't know. I had a class in grad school back. It was at 1986 called "Coaching Today's Athlete," and it'd be really cool to go back and look at the notes and look at the curriculum back in 1986. Now I'm sure the fundamentals are the same.
86,
you know, communication and so forth. But
stopped us 3 days.
You know, personalities are different.
Let alone 2 days.
You've been doing this a long time. You're an old war horse. I mean, you know, locker rooms, are they any different? Yeah, you guys. I mean, is the locker rooms any different today?
A little bit, yeah.
Just a little bit, huh? Okay.
All right, he's got to run.
Good. All right, thank you.
All right, there it is. Nothing exhilarating, but again, people I know from what all teams are excited about their team. Eagles are excited about what they're seeing. Not named Dan Sicilio or Angelo Cataldi or any number of other people that say the Eagles are in trouble. But again, as a fan, we should think our team's going to be good. I could tell my Cowboy fans, this is for the Cowboy people. This is for the non-troll who just go, oh, you guys are going to suck. Yeah. Okay. You always say that. You said that the last few years. You know what I mean? We won 12 games 3 years in a row. It's not easy to do. It's not what I want. I'd rather win 8 and win a Super Bowl, but not in the cards for us. But I think we're going to be a good team, barring injury. Last year, we got hit pretty hard with the injuries. That was on the down low. That's no excuse. That's part of the NFL. I get it. But I'm excited about a lot of things. I'm going to do a video on our defensive line a little later, so look out for that. Very excited about that. But still a lot of work to be done on the DL. So with that being said, I do not want to have this video go on too long. So I'll see you guys a little later. Don't forget, I will not be doing a lunchtime chat. We'll be doing a live tonight at 8 o'clock, my normal hump day live. So just remember, and don't always forget. Please do ever forget that we are always we them boys. Late.
You know what? I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. I'm not fucking leaving!